We'll be continuing that interview after the break. Also, still coming up, office space. That's the antithesis of being corporate. Stay tuned. Every week on The Real Estate, we bring you our feature on dynamic offices, workspaces that push the boundaries of corporate design and aim to provide unique environments for both staff and clients. We kick off the second half of the program tonight with a visit to Missing Link.
We're a presentation strategy company, so if you can put yourself in the position of a speaker who has to go and deliver a message to an audience, and often it can be quite dreary, quite boring and quite dull, we try and make that process less rubbish and try and make the outcome less rubbish as well. So we try and help people communicate their messages in a more effective way. We started out back in the day, I mean, hasn't been a revelation for us, it's been something we've been doing since the start. We try to make things as different as possible. We try and question everything. So why have an office with, with cubicles and little walls and everyone has their own little area, sealed off from everybody else? I mean, that doesn't make any sense if you actually think about it. It's not actually a good way to work. So the very first iteration of the office we had a quarter pipe, a skateboard quarter pipe, and the guys used to skate in it. We had a lot more skaters back there. But it got to the level where even guys are coming off the street and coming to skate while we're working on things. The second iteration, we made a coffee shop, something quite nice and quite fun as well. Also a lot of flippant things, and we had boobs on the floor, and just things that we thought were cool, to be honest. And then when we eventually we grew to such a level that we actually had to take over more office space. We thought, well, instead of working on it incrementally, why don't we just revolutionize the entire office and just make it something that is completely different to anything we've had in the past? And you get what we've got here. This is a place for every single person who works here. And so we wanted everybody to come to the table and say, well, what is it that you want out of a working environment? And this is kind of what came out of it, And a lot of the stuff was done on the fly as well. We designed the thing very top level, but if you look at the original plans and to what we actually came out with, they're very, very different. And that's because, that's actually a bit of a rubbish idea, so let's change it to this. The outcome we're very, very happy with, though. I mean, we've got, there's a lot of flippant things in here. Things that some of the things in here are here just because we wanted them to be, not because we have a reason. The gratuitous neon sign, is a perfect example of things we just thought, hey, that'll be cool to have. The segways, there's no business purpose for it. It's nice to have. All my horror toys behind here are the same thing. It just makes the environment more like home. If you're enjoying the time that you're spending here, your productivity is going to go up because you're happy in the environment that you're in. We find people get a lot less grumpy having to work late hours because they can always take a break and go and, have a game of foosball. Guys will work harder because they have that break out of work mode. They have a breathing period that they can have whenever they decide they need one, just to reset the mind, refresh themselves, and then get back to work again. So as far as productivity goes, I mean, it's been a godsend. We do not have a 9-to-5 policy in this company, but it's all well and good to say that, but to actually act upon it is quite different. So having an environment like this allows us to say, well, we don't clock in at 9, clock off at 5. We're here for as long as we need to be, and no one really minds that because this is home.
I don't know, the office is awesome. You're working and then all of a sudden someone says who wants a game of table tennis and you can jump up and play a quick 5 minutes. Totally kills you of any stress that you've been feeling at that point in time, and you can go back and work with a fresh mind. It works, it really, really works.
We continue our chat now with Eric Itzkin, Deputy Director of Immovable Heritage for the City of Johannesburg.